I want to say is, Ash, what's up with that?
I don't
Now
know.
we're live, Greg. You might have to do that again.
There we go.
We're live now. Do it all over.
I think we just need to roll.
Yeah. Hey, so Ted, first off, you were just recently Ted played for the Cal Golden Bears. Won the Pac. What is that? Pac 8 back then, Ted?
Yes, sir. Pac 8 back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah. Won the Pac 8 championship, and you were just back there for the celebrating 50 years since that victory. Tell us about that experience.
It was part of Saturday. I came in early on Thursday, still for a couple of minutes. That team, the 1975, was chosen.
Ash, is that all garbled?
58 yards of total.
Yeah.
Matt's frozen, and I don't know what he said.
Matt's frozen and Ted's garbled.
I'm not frozen. I'm just stunned.
Matt's
Teddy boy, what's up? We can't hear you, man.
Ted's got the old Greg Riley plan.
Yeah, we need to get you.
Can't hear me?
Yeah, the internet.
Well, we heard you just then. That was okay.
Hello, testing. Hello.
It's like it's really garbled, Ted. Hate to tell you.
We may need to regroup on this, Ash, and you know, when we get Teddy at the upgraded connection.
That's okay. We can do that. We can do that. Let's do that. If that's okay.
Somebody make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Or I'll have to have Ted come into my office here or go over to your office.
Yeah, exactly. Ted, we're gonna have to rain check you, buddy, because you're garbled.
Poor Ted.
Is any better? Is any better?
There.
Oh.
I feel bad for him.
Should I make executive decision?
Man.
We'll try it.
We are not good at technology.
Ash, how do you want to do this? You need to. Can we just go and then they'll do it from here, or what do you want to do?
Who will do it from where? What do you mean?
Just edit it from here is basically
Edit it from here.
Fresh start.
Yeah.
New grass.
Or do you need to start over?
No, we could edit it however you want to edit it. I just
All right, let's roll.
I want to make sure. I mean, we're live right now, but it's not a big deal. You want to see if we can get Ted.
So we want to apologize to all of our listeners that are listening to this, this cluster.
That's okay. It happens. That's why we edit it.
Yep.
I was just checking to see if he wanted to try to sign back on or not. He was having a little bit of a tough link. Otherwise, we can. I could even go over to his house sometime this week and check out his Wi-Fi and figure out maybe a better angle of doing it.
Get him the new puck system you got, Riley. Old Papa G. Whatever puck system that was. Because it works. I don't think Greg's got choked up yet in the past couple of weeks.
No.
It's been going good.
Let's just do our normal, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on you, pal.
Are you guys
Let's
good with
go.
that?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, I feel bad. Let's tell Ted. I didn't mean to.
So we were going to have Ted on because Ted was the inspiration for the pod, and you know he has some great stories about the Bears, and since he's a college football analyst, I mean we can talk all about everything that's going on in college football, and But anyhow, we'll try it some other time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And just so that people now know, we're going to have Ted on Albrecht in the next week or two. That's
there you go.
That's
There you
good. And I was a little
Actually,
nervous.
I like your name badge. It says complaint department. What's this
That's-
all about?
Did you see? Hey, Beamer, did you see me get real close? I was trying to read it, but then I realized my eyes are really bad.
It's
So
There was no way I was going to be able to read it.
all right. Well, let's start
there's
over.
not a lot of statistics out with the government shutdown. I just want to let you know that, you know, I've been out and about, and I'm honestly going to let you know that my life has not changed one bit with the government being shut down.
I feel like this is another landmine. This is last week again.
For all the Canadians,
you know what? It's not essential. Non-essential government is not essential to me. I'm sorry.
I agree with you 110%. The other thing I saw, there was somebody quoted that we've attempted to come together on some sort of funding deal, and the other side has denied the ability to do that.
Yeah, they were gonna pay everybody that's furloughed, but the Democrats don't want to do that. They don't want to pay the people.
No, I know one.
It's okay.
I know
Some
one thing
people
Unless they get
suffer.
$1.5 trillion for illegal
aliens,
people's health, illegal people's health care, and a whole bunch of other frontier gibberish. We want, yeah.
I do know one thing. My premium on my insurance is not going to go down at all.
One thing is, you know what? We should accept the fact that, hey, this is a sign that Obamacare doesn't work, and so we need to fix it. Since the only people that benefit are the insurance companies, let's reimagine healthcare in America. Can we do that? Can we reimagine it?
Well,
yeah, no, there's this thing called the private sector market. Maybe we could go back to that.
Well, let's you guys want to talk a little lumber here?
Okay. We went right for third rail. We went right to third rail.
Usually that's like halfway through the show.
I know, yeah. Usually we've given people something like worthwhile to listen to before we go on the rant.
Well, since we're going to have to piece this one up anyway when we record it. Hi, this is episode 144 of the Lumber Word. Everybody, welcome. So, what
I gotta tell you guys, you know what? I mean, I appreciate all the people that like listen to. So I'm driving back from my golf trip, and guy's driving, and the other guy's in the front seat. I'm on the back seat talking to a customer and whatnot. And I hang up. He goes, well, Riles, you really have a very soothing, like comforting, like phone voice, like a podcaster. What? Wait a minute, I am one. They're like, what? Huh? Hey, well, actually, we had a housing statistic come out today.
Yeah, where it come from?
Existing home sales. What did they do?
Existing home sales rose 1.5%. So, I mean, there you go.
Wow.
It was, existing home sales are just it's a low number, 4 million, and it just continues to be that function of not a lot of supply, so many people locked up, not much turnover, and yeah. And
I think you know what I really think. I think the hodgepodge of what this episode has been so far is a direct summary of what the lumber market is right now. Nobody really knows what's going on. Some things work, some things don't. Nobody gets real upset. You just kind of and you go on to the next day. I think it's a good summary.
Matt called me last night. Matt called me last night when we talked lumber. Matt, I appreciate you calling me because I was in the car with my wife going to my mother-in-law's house.
Yeah, I saved you.
And threw him the life preserver.
We talked lumber for about a half an hour. But it was interesting. I had a bunch of people call me and go, God, the market's really tough right now, isn't it? And I say to them, not really. It's okay. And it's not bad, not good. And they're like, yeah, that's right. It's not bad, not good. Everybody's fishing for what's going on. And Matt, you made the comment, everybody wants to buy 2x4 and 2x6 16s, right? And some items out there are just tough. 2x4, 2x6 14s.
Yeah.
You know, some of those items. I think, Greg, you made the comment the other day, and Charles and I were talking. If you have something and somebody wants it, you can probably get a good order. If you have something, even if it's well bought and nobody wants it, it's kind of a slog getting that order. Or is it even worth trying right now?
No, it's
The other
not. It's a
the
boat
other
anchor.
the other interesting thing, we've been getting a lot of feedback on the podcast. Had a guy send me something. I think I put it out in the email the other day, wanting to know. Say he listens to the podcast a lot. He's an investor. Put some money into some REITs. Was that what he put it into, Charles, or what did he put it in?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was. I think some of it had to do with some of those SPACs and some of the guys in the lumber industry that were
Are
tied to
SPACs
some of the
a
SPACs.
SPAC what you wear when you work out, or is that
I mean,
Spanx?
those are Spanx, but I don't think you should wear Spanx when you work out.
Ash, if you start wearing specs to the office, we are done, brother. We are done.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
but so
You officially went 100% remote at that point.
his feedback was loves the podcast. Dumb it down a little bit for some of the people outside of the lumber industry that don't sometimes know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we can get in the weeds. We can get in the weeds.
You got a mouse in your pocket. It's you. You're the one that like over explains everything.
And then
You do. You love details, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I mean,
I think it's because Greg has an encyclopedic knowledge of all things framing lumber.
I'm not debating that. That comes with experience and knowledge base and intelligence and all of the above. Not debating that whatsoever.
So I appreciate all those kind words that they started as a backhanded, but ended up being straight up. So I do appreciate. Bless your heart. So what having been on the road for a few days and trying to catch up, it seems like the market this week has been really like kind of had a gut punch on Monday morning when futures fell $35 a thousand, and we had a little bit of a recovery on Tuesday, down again yesterday and again today, and I look and I go, oh wow, all of a sudden futures is down like $50 in a week.
Yep,
that just happened. And I know we've been talking about the hedging opportunity. Matt laid it out a couple of weeks ago. I mean, really, really clear cut and whatnot. And so now you're looking at 584. We had an earnings announcement, Ash, come out last night, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. It was.
Talk about it.
Well, that was the Fraser, but real quick, I wanted to stay on what I kind of text about a half an hour ago from one of the mill guys, European guys, and he's like, "What happened to futures?" I'm like, "What do you?" I go, "What do you?" I said, "What?" I type like, "What do you mean?"
What do you mean?
And I did it on voice command, so it said something completely obnoxious. But I said, "What do you mean? What's wrong?" I mean, if hem fur is 540, 550 Chicago, and CME is 580, 590 or something now.
Still the $50 premium.
It hasn't converged yet. And he goes, well, what do you mean by that? I'm like, you can deliver hem fir now, Doug, fir and larch. So you've converged on spruce, but things always go to their lowest common denominator on a commodity that's deliverable. And I think that you're kind of, people are waking up to that fact now and seeing that because you were a pretty good premium overall in the market. It also tells you maybe spruce was a little overvalued going into some stuff.
Matt, is that right? Is the whitewood hem fir market 440, 540? I mean, 540, 550.
I mean, it's hard to say because we don't have a lot of it for sale. I would say, yeah, I mean, somewhere between 550 and 570 Chicago, depending on tallies. And and which mill you're talking to. There's not a lot of it around. There's really not a lot of hem fir around right now. There's
What's Doug fir worth?
Doug fir's going for about 600, 610
Okay.
Chicago. So it's kind of in the spruce price range. And going back to Ashley's first initial comment here, I mean, if my answer to the Euro guy would have been, look, the price of the 10% tax was priced into the board. And so, they like what I'm seeing in the cash market is that the Western mills, I speak to the Eastern mills, but the Western mills have just thrown in the towel on trying to get the 10%, starting this week. So they told me the new prices of lumber last week and late the week before. And I just kind of ignored them all for 7 or 8 days. And then by Tuesday morning, I'm hitting them up with $40 counters and they're just going, yeah, give me your POs. So the Western mills have already abandoned the 10% tax thing. And that, that's going to bring spruce down in line closer to where futures is now. So if you're talking futures was at 620, now it's at 585. 585 is much more close to reality of what they're actually doing this week. And you still have the target there with the hem fir being down around 550 to 570, depending on the tallies, like I said. So, we're not done yet. Now, do I think we have a lot of downside from here now that we've wrung out that $40 or $50 premium that was goosed into the market the last 3 weeks? Not really. I really like these kind of markets, Greg. I mean, these are the kind of markets where if you're a trader and you just put in the slightest amount of effort, you can trade well. You can pull some deals off with sawmills. You can get customers, talk to your customers, reach out to them. Don't just send emails. You got to work a little bit. But if you want to be a trader, this is where you make your money. This is where it can be fun and interesting. So, that's kind of how I see it right now.
I mean, I appreciate that level of positivity. I mean, candidly, it's like people ask me, "Hey, how's things?" I go, "Phew, it's a lot of work."
Right.
A lot of work.
No, it is.
A lot of work. It's not a lot of work these days. But
the risk profile too. I mean, to Matt's point. Sorry, Greg. I don't mean to cut you off.
No worries.
But I mean, the risk profile to conduct business and actually do it to where you have an opportunity to make money and potentially strike those deals with some of these primary producers. The risk profile 30, 60 days, 90 days out is pretty large, right?
Sure.
And I think we can all agree with that. But to your point, Matt, you have guys that are in a situation to where they may look at that opportunity and assign inventory or volume to that so they don't have to worry about it, because they're realizing that all the things that everybody, as far as a producer, has held on to come to fruition has done the complete opposite. Tariffs in the first quarter of this year, we're going to get the 10% tax because that's how much our costs are going up, right? I mean, there's
Right.
a multitude of and that's across species, right? Because when one goes up, the other has tried to go up, right? So
Sure.
I think the risk profile is relatively large, but if you have the ability to do what I think all four of us do and manage that risk appropriately, you can win.
Charles,
I mean, you're right.
Do you still see like tightness and strength in pine prices here? Or
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So, well, because I guess I look at the backdrop and I go, okay, so for the last, 90, 120 days, it's been, we're going to have all these curtailments, blah, blah, blah. And, we've had some announced curtailments. We've had some quiet curtailments. We've had, shift cutting. I mean, there's no question that there's less lumber being made and there's going to be less lumber made as we go forward here. With the backdrop of, West Fraser losing $200 million in Q3, you take today's prices projected for Q4, that's a bigger number. They're the lowest cost producer. So,
they also have a diversified portfolio too. And I think that's what really got them. I think
because they didn't make money in anything.
Nothing. There was,
Not
I mean,
OSB, not
Well, the
everything that,
sheet goods
FGA,
yeah,
was really
not Southern
painful.
Pine, not Canadian.
that's
Right.
my point, Matt. The
Yeah.
sheet goods were rough, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can win and you can fight off a lot of fires and a lot of pirate ships when those things are going right. But I mean, if you have, a foot in two ponds and both of them are draining, I mean, you get caught pretty quick.
I mean,
Well, then
I believe that the longer term, so looking January, February, March, I feel like we could see a situation where demand doesn't really substantially increase year over year. I mean, we could have the same kind of demand in 2026 as we've had in 2025, and yet prices could just go up. And as a combination of seasonal buying strategies that normally occur combined with more milk curtailments around that time, right? And the more milk curtailments would affect, primarily the Canadian producers, but also some of the yellow pine guys. And so, you know, look, there is definitely risk out there in the first and second quarter for higher prices. And our customers know this too. Like if you get into a conversation with it, with some of your bigger buyers, they've already thought about this stuff. It's not like a surprise. So, um, you know, it could just be, steady demand and higher prices and nobody knows why. Well, the why is just less availability.
In what you see in like a supply push market, I know you don't like that, Charles, but it's like demand pull, supply push. What happens is, when you looked at that, there was like 14 days up that the market gave up in 2.5 hours in futures.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you see you've got a secondary price correction going on in the cash market right now. And it happens just because we don't have you don't have the liquidity, right? That's what it is. But to your point, we moving now. We move now from seasonal weakness to seasonal strength. But the challenge I look at is as you go into the end of the year, that's typically the time where the buyers, Matt, they're looking at positioning for Q1,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's how aggressive are they going to do that? Given the factors we talked.
Well, I think that they'll do it. I mean, there's business out there. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, we're at 1.3 million housing starts. It's not like it's terrible. This isn't 2010. And there's business every day, and that's why I said earlier, hey, that this is a trading market. I mean, if you want to work the phones, if you want to just reach out and tap a lot of shoulders, whether it's your sawmills that you buy from or your customers that you sell to, you're going to end up with multiple transactions each day because you just effort. And I think that's kind of the market we're in right now. Now, the other side of the market is these big premiums in the futures contracts that we've identified and talked about for multiple months here. It's kind of been a gift for basis traders and hedgers of inventory all year long. We've had, 3 or 4 instances this year where there was going to be the Trump tax, or there was going to be a Section 232, or there was going to be blah, 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 like all these things coming. And then when they don't come, or they come, but they're different, then it deflates quickly. Right. And so, I mean, if you were playing the market this year just purely from the long side, you had a few moments where you could shine, but then you spent half the year just dealing with getting rid of
Digging out of a
inventory.
hole. Digging out
Yeah.
of a hole.
Or
Yeah.
even losing money on inventory, right? Without any kind of hedging strategy. But if you're putting basis trades on with a structured basis, and then on top of that, if you're like me, if you've got 30 cars of lumber on the ground and you trade against that all the time using the board at premiums, it's no different than forward selling a job. For if I sell, like if I sold today, let's just say today I sold $620 futures cars in January. Well, I just sold $620 spruce cars or hem fir cars for January shipment. I mean, it's no different than a forward sell for a job. And so, I could just I could literally in the next 2.5 months go out and buy some hem fir or spruce at less than 620, right? And just hold on to that and then ship it. So, I don't look at the board as a scary thing or something to be nervous about. It's giving us these chances to look at the market more from a forward selling strategy than a day-to-day cash trade, get long all the time. You can't just be long all the time this year. I think it would be a rough year for you.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. I mean, but the general population, the general pop likes to trade from the long side on everything, right? And I mean, that's what gives us an edge, Matt, right?
I mean, I would love to see more people in our business do more of what works.
Yeah.
And it's as safe a trade as you're going to get. And I sleep fine at night. I go to bed. I'm long inventory. I'm short the board. I've got multiple positions on. I've got contracts sold ahead that I've got to deal with. I've got jobs sold. It's like I have all kinds of risk when I fall asleep at night, but I don't worry about it because if things go down, I've got those hedges that help me recoup my losses. And then if things go up, I'm going to lose money on the future side of it, but I'm going to rake the coals in on my inventory. And there's always another deal around the corner. I've learned this in my many years of doing this. When sometimes you think, "Oh, I missed out on that deal," another deal will come your way. Trust me. And it's
that's so true. That's like
I mean, I bet you guys have had trades where you put on a trade, like you shorted or you took an apartment job sale for months out, 6 months out. And then you went and bought some inventory against it, just sort of hedged like 30% of the job. And then you traded through that 2 or 3 times before you actually shipped the wood, right? I mean, you can actually multiply your position. If you have good paper out there, whether it's long paper or short paper, you can multiply those positions. Now, I don't want to have to try to explain that concept to everybody because maybe it's higher math.
We need to stop right here, Matt. We need to stop right here.
We got to put you behind the paywall, brother.
Paywall.
Yeah.
We got to stop.
All right, no problem. Okay, I'm not saying anymore.
No, it's funny. Matt,
no, but
just yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt.
But like right now, one of the things that's interesting, you talk about that, is we have the least amount of forward business on that we ever have just because the premiums have been so large, right? Yeah. That either our people have like found someone way smarter than us to do it with, or it's still short out there, right? And so, I mean, that's the one thing with these. I mean,
Charles and Greg, what do you think of those two possibilities?
Which
take a guess.
Yeah. They're definitely way smarter. That's what it is. Way smarter.
100%. Because I mean, it'll show up on time, and it'll be 20% cheaper, Matt.
There you go.
Exactly when they need it.
And listen, I mean, here's the retail lumber yards, jobbers. They're always and multifamily builders. They're pretty much always net short some amount, right? They're lumber mills are always net long, and end users are always net short. So it's like managing that.
Multifamily, that's their business model. I mean,
right? And honestly, I mean that's worked well for the last 24 months.
Well, actually, can I correct that? Multifamily's business model is find the actual investors that own that project, find their budget, make sure they don't talk to any other lumber traders, and skewer them for as much as you can when you just find out what their price list is and how much their budget is. and you back into it, and then they make 25 to 30%. So here's a little bit of advice. If you're an investor in a multifamily project, and I've talked to some of you before, if you don't break your lumber and labor down and look at your lumber separately per piece, you're probably giving up quite a bit of percentage of profit. And you may want to go look at the car that your broker is driving.
Emails coming in on that one.
Well, it's true. It's the biggest amount of fat in the market is projects, because the project guys have a budget. And they're like, I have a $5 million budget and 1.5 of it is for lumber. And here's my lumber package. Can you do it? Yes. Thank you.
I mean,
That's funny.
I gotta go. I don't know.
It's cynical, but it's funny.
It's true. No, it's true. I've
and, you know, like, but every once in a while that whole thing blows up because if it's not covered, right?
Yeah.
That's what. And
absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
To your point, if lumber prices do move up in a vacuum between now and the first quarter, you know, by $100 to $200 $1,000. There will be all sorts of things that come out of the woodwork as a result of that.
But what do you think the reality of?
That's what you need.
But what do you think the reality of that actually happening is? If you had to put a percentage basis on it, what do you think the reality of that
I
actually
think
happening?
100 is like no big deal.
100
I think 100 is about 100% sure. And then 200 is maybe
I'll take the opposite
50%.
side.
You're gonna take the under. You're gonna take the under on that.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's say cash.
What item? Random Links price composite, 2x4 spruce. I mean, 2x4 pine. What is the item that's up $100 from here? 100% chance. Everything.
That's really talking to me.
Yeah, we are. We're asking you. What do you think?
I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to him.
I think we're better. I think the best. I think from what I'm hearing, the best bet is let's bet on the spread. What is 2x4 east side 4-inch pine gonna do versus 2x4 the delivered Chicago contract, right? Because that takes into account all the different species. So right now that spread is. Right now, that spread is about what's the CME Chicago spread right now?
Well, CME for January is CME for January is 6-7. Call it 620.
620, and you've got 4-inch east side at like 365 ish. Is that right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're talking about board prices, it's 395 in January.
395 in January. Okay, so let's just compare the board to the board. So you got a
395. What's cash 2x4 east side today, Charles? At the mill?
Right around the number you just said, if not less.
So 395?
No,
200.
365.
Yeah, it's right around print.
Okay. So 365.
200 plus spread right now between CME January Southern Pine.
Oh, it's $220. So what are we gonna make? Are we gonna make a bet on the spread between January spruce LBR deliverable Chicago and 2/4/16 SYP January? Is that are those the parameters of the bet?
I mean that's that.
Because
it's more likely say, hey, let's say, hey,
$225.
What's 2x4 random spruce random going to be delivered Chicago? You know, what's the high in Q1? And
I think that's closer to
what's SYP,
like a $700 number.
East side, what's the high going to be FOB mill in Q1? Those are the numbers that matter.
I would think my guess is that you're going to see by the time we get to the expiration of the March contract, that somewhere along the line between January 1st and March 15th, that yellow pine will be up over 100 over the numbers you just talked about. So 465 or higher.
465 or higher
for the March contract.
No. Yeah. In the first
between
quarter,
January in the first quarter between January 1st and March 15th, I believe.
The high.
Yellow pine will go up 100 or more from the numbers you're talking about in the cash market today. You said 365. I'm
Okay.
saying it'll get 465 to 565 during that time frame. It might not stay there, but it will hit those types of numbers. And I believe that spruce will be over $700 for at least a period of time in that time frame because of the things we've all been talking about here. This is not me just guessing completely. Of course, we're guessing, but it's based on less supply and increased seasonal demand. And
Yeah, but
there's
seasonal
not going to
demand.
be
I mean,
enough
let's.
alternatives for them to turn to, especially if the yellow pine guys start curtailing.
Okay, Matt.
I believe that they.
Think
Okay.
about Matt. Think about Charles. Think about this for a second. $700 2x4 in Chicago is $588 Western Mill.
Okay.
Which, like, for the majority of the market, has a $264 1,000 ADD, CBD,
Yeah, taxes.
and TT. I call it TT. It's a Trump tariff, right? That's 320, right? So you're netting 323 mill cost. We had Russ on. It's somewhere between 2x4 equivalent. What did he say, Ash? He said around what, 500 to 550?
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
450 to 550.
I thought he said 450 to 500.
Yeah, 455. Okay, so you're looking low end 125, high end 225. Okay. And that's 2x4. So Southern Pine, we've talked about this. What is Gatewood today?
Oh, Stummingson's cheap, man.
Yeah, no, I
know
know.
guys that are paying less than $50 a ton for specialty logs.
But mills that are running, mills that are running. Yeah, I know that guy too.
Do you?
Yeah. Hey, make sure you get him hook him up with my cousin. So he's got some of that. He's got some of that big timber down there in South Carolina.
I'm sure he does. I know he does.
What do we figure? Like, just regular stumpage mills making 4 through 12 inch today. What are they paying? 40,
38 to $45 depending.
So $42. What is that per 1,000 board feet?
You're probably going to get 5,500 to 5,800 board foot on a truck. You're going to get 25 tons on a truck. So if you're talking 42 to 25 times 42 divided by 5.6. Should be like $186.
187.50.
Oh, sorry, I stand corrected.
I'm just saying this, man. You're
right there. No, I like dealing with real numbers. So you got like
$100. So you get $190, and then it's how much to saw, dry, plain? 100 and
like $100 to dress it.
100.
No, it's probably, if you dry it and dress it, you're probably in it for $1.25, all in.
Okay.
So you're at $315.
Yep.
And if you look across the complex right now, depending on what your recovery rates are, right? Let's just divide by 0.85, right? Is that
That's
good?
fair. Yeah,
That's
I'd
fair.
say 80%.
Okay, so that's gonna lower it. You're talking about getting 350 to 360, 350
as a break even. As a break even, yeah. So
and
we
look at the prices right now, and you're kind of like where the new numbers are. You're close to that. Depending on how much 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 you're making.
What's your Southern Pine composite right now? It says 327 this past Friday.
Composite on what? 4-inch?
So the Southern Pine composite. I'm not
just
sure
all yellow pine.
How much it makes? What makes up each basket? But
yeah.
So it's interesting, Matt.
That's a minus 50 number. That's not shutdown pricing, but it's kind of like,
part of the problem with the shutdown theory for me is that a lot of the mills are owned by Canadian companies, and they're the ones that are hurting the most on the cash front. So, I don't know what their strategy is going to be. I'm just purely conjecture here, and I'm just throwing out food for thought too. I could be
Yeah.
completely wrong on all this stuff.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not a yellow pine guy, although I did trade my very first truck of Southern Yellow Pine today. Can you believe that? I bought a truck and
Attaboy.
sold it.
That's your
First time in
Attaboy.
31 years.
I mean,
Wow.
It's a wave
making
of
a
the
move,
future.
making a move.
So now that I'm an expert at yellow pine, let me tell you what I think about it.
Go ahead.
I'm kidding. No, go ahead, Ash.
Oh, I know.
It's interesting. You were looking at the market move, but you're keeping that spread on your numbers you picked. You're keeping that spread right at $200, right? My question is, if everybody thinks that the first quarter and seasonal strength, the seasonal is going to lift prices, then why, if I'm a mill, would I shut anything right now? Because we all think this. Everybody thinks the same. Maybe that's why they haven't shut anything, because they all think that things are going to be better. Charles, what's up? Yeah.
Contrarian here. You ready? I
Yeah.
think everybody, and I'm talking specifically of what I know the best.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of big boys that got good deal to death over the past 60 to 90 days. And I'm talking like stupid good deals, right? Not like, oh, hey, I'm 10 under. But you take this volume and you keep it. I don't care where you send it, but get it out of my mill. I've talked to a couple guys and they don't have to buy a plate until May of next year in Southern Pine. Not one, but 4 different people. They don't have to buy a 4-inch 12 through 16.
I'm gonna take the under on that. I'm gonna take under.
Okay. And the other side that I don't think anybody's really taking into consideration is Ash, to your point, right? You can now deliver hem fur, right? So explain to me why it would be that price appreciation would be a direct indicator of Canadian production. If now, as we always like to say, it goes back to the cost of production, lowest cost available, right, is going to be hem fur. So if you're in that scenario, why would it go to $700 when hem fur is not going to trade at $700 in Chicago?
Can I add a little to
talking
that?
cash market, not futures.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm just
understand.
saying in general.
So,
I mean,
in the summertime, in the heart of the summer, you're not going to see hem fur 2x4 trade, like, unless there's like a 2021, 2022 kind of rally going on. But if it's just a year, you're probably not going to see hem fur 2x4 get to the same price as spruce from, say, May through September. And it is purely market share driven. It's based on heat. So like people in Arizona and Colorado and New Mexico and Texas, they might avoid the hem fur out of the West for those months because of how hot it is. But then they come right back in October through May the next year, and they see hem fur as a viable species again. And so you'll see those spreads narrow as we go throughout this next 6 months here. You'll see the spread between hem fir and spruce narrow to where they're basically equal. I mean, really, for most of my career, hem fir was a $40 discount to spruce. But the last 10 or 15 years, it's kind of equalized now, where you see hem fir and spruce really close to each other on price. And now Doug fir is the premium species out of the West. And then yellow pine is the lower cost species out of the South. And so I expect that to just return to normal here. Really, I expect spruce prices to keep coming down towards the hem fir prices, which is what Greg was talking about, But when they do move up, I do think that you'll see hem fir and spruce prices go up about the same, and they'll be equalized.
That's a good point. It's really, they should, if they're all, they should start to kind of converge, right?
It happened here this week, right? We just took the fluff out.
Well, they're going to converge when it makes sense based on demand, right? And your consumption. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's such a seasonal. I mean, based off of what Matt just said, that's such a seasonal supply pull, as Greg would describe, right? Or push or whatever. That it's completely dependent on what the end user wants to do. But I can tell you, just like me shipping Southern Yellow Pine studs into central Nebraska, if it's cheap enough, they'll buy it. They don't really care what happens to it. So it's going to create a really unique conundrum, because I think we're about to go into territories And this isn't an age joke, right? But y'all are a hell of a lot more tenured than I am in this industry, right? So the things I think that are about to happen, that I hypothesize that are going to happen, are things that are unprecedented as far as species swapping, as far as price action, as far as what we think is going to happen versus what really happens.
Yeah.
And the only way that you can protect yourself, to Matt's point, is risk management. Whether it's cross species spread, whether it's trade the board, whatever you want to do. But there's going to be a lot of unique scenarios over the next 6 months. And there's going to be a lot of price volatility and a lot of opportunity for people to trade and make money. But you've got to have the ability to manage the risk. And if you can't manage the risk, you may as well not play ball. Just my
And-
2
I have a
cents.
question
And
about.
it's also, it's like, you know, it's like when reality is different than what people's expectation of what was going to happen, that's when you get the most outsized moves, right? It's when what everyone expects to have happen happens, then you know it's going to be more muted. It's when people are caught off guard, not what they're expecting. You know, to Ash's point, if we have lots of primary producers listening to us saying that the market's going to be a lot higher in the first quarter, and so they decide not to shut down, right? Then that's
I
really
think they
going
just feel that way
that's
already.
really going to have
I
an
think they
impact.
I
And
think
really,
they
what I
feel that
want to
way
do is I
already.
want to get to the place where everybody gets to the place where I want to hear people go to me, the market's never going up. It's never going to get any better.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear. And until I hear that, the market's never getting better.
My question for the group is, so we can talk about it's all talking about kind of supply side.
Oh, he went dark on us. You see that?
What do we do? What do you think in this months to 12 months on the demand side? You know, I mean, I've seen and heard forecasts from builders and from large retailers saying that they don't expect anything. Like they think it's going to be the same as it has been, if not maybe down a little bit. And then I've got people that are taking the opposite approach and think that, you know, lower rates are in our future and smaller houses are in our future. And, you know, but I'm stumbling around trying to find out where the demand's going to come from. And right now it looks like multifamily is where it's at.
You're
Yeah.
back. We
Yeah.
lost you, Jared.
Here's my concern, Matt. I mean, in this, I'm not going to take any political side to it, but I mean, the biggest thing our biggest headwind right now is affordability, right? And, and yes, the price of eggs are down, but you know what? The price I'm paying for my real estate taxes is up. The price I'm paying for beef is up. So, I mean, hey,
And
insurance.
insurance.
You know what? It's more expensive to live today than it was in December of this year. Sorry, I just said that, but it's true. All the little things, insurance. I talked to a guy that has a house in Florida. He pays $7,000 a year for a condominium in insurance on the Gulf. That's, you know, and
Ooh.
I mean, it's expensive to live, and I mean, I'll throw one out there. My biggest concern is these buy to rent. There are these BTRs.
PTRs.
Man, we've been talking about them now for 2 years, and we're like, they're small and all that. They're the deciding fact. I think they're the middle. They're the liquidity that keeps the home builders able to keep building and the prices to not fall, because the minute there's an air pocket in a community, they come in and buy houses, right? I probably really butchered that one, and I may not understand them completely, but that's the difference between now and when we were in 2008, 9, 10, 11. You have bigger home builders, you have larger publicly traded companies involved in the spend of real estate, and you got these BTRs now. And the price of homes is so damn expensive. So how are we going to incent people to buy more houses if the mortgage is going to be 6 to 7% for the next 3 years, and the prices are going to continue to go up everywhere?
Yeah, but they're not.
Yeah.
Prices, but they're not. Prices continue to moderate in the high beta markets. Prices are down sharply, and they're going to be down even more as we go forward. And you know, the compression right now, the median new home price is actually lower than the median existing home price. I mean, obviously everything's dependent on market, but we've had this discussion. There are all sorts of markets that are very, very affordable. Here's what's not affordable. Living in the South
Portland
of LA, or, living in Austin, Texas, or, the big cities.
Right.
That's not affordable for the average person. But so, back to the question, where's the demand going to come from, Matt? I think, yes, I think the majority of people, the consensus is, and as it usually is things are going to stay the same that they are, because, it's like recency. Well, this is the way it's been, so this is probably the way it's going to stay. And then, when things change, they go, oh yeah, well, we didn't know about that. There's a lot of things in the background that are happening that could spur demand in 2026. And
sure.
And so, what would the surprise be? The surprise would be is if, with the lower mortgage rates, that there was, and it's at the margin. You don't need to have a big increase here to matter for the market. The big home builders, their share, Ash, what do we say their share of the market now is? Up to like 60%?
Well, it depends regionally. Yeah. It's just
depends on each regional, right?
People got bigger. And yeah. It's just, and that's why they can afford, they're going to sell the houses to somebody. That's why I was talking about the BTRs and other things, right?
But when we saw that whole thing where those guys were selling their odd lot places, and now they want to buy entire communities.
Yeah.
All right, Charles, let's hear it.
It's a lower cost.
No, I was just going to say I got to jump. I've been talking to you all for almost an hour.
Okay.
And like, are you bored by us already?
No, I'm not bored. I get it. My wife called me. It's 5:00 my time. She's having a girls' night at the house. Like,
whoa! Girls' night at the house. You want?
Yeah, they're singing. She brought they're doing karaoke or something in the bar.
His wife's a great.
I want to get the video of you coming in and busting out. What's your go-to on that?
Man cave. You go out to the man barn, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Out.
Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna be out with the cows. You can send me that picture too.
Yeah, I probably will. Y'all good. Pleasure's on
Fair
mine.
enough. I think we have beat this to death today.
Yeah.
All right.
We did it.
Exactly.
It's been fun.
I love it. Love you all, man. Love you all.